Hello and welcome to Mad About Sports for yet another live stream. And today we are here previewing India versus Sri Lanka in Wankhede Stadium. Obviously, it's a historic clash in a historic venue. Remember, 12 years ago, the same ground saw these two teams play out in a World Cup final, and India emerged winners. And obviously, they want to recreate something of that sort. So the same same two teams are playing in the same venue 12 years later. But the only difference is one team is still on top and the other team is definitely fallen off the cliff by a long margin. I have Antariksh and Sai with me. I'll get to Antariksh first up. Antariksh, such an important clash, even in Sri Lanka's perspective, after what's been happening in the World Cup over the last 3 to 4 days. Sri Lanka is still in the hunt, you can say. So if they go on to defeat India and if they can get a result against Bangladesh there, you never know. With this tournament really, taking turns every now and then, Sri Lanka is still in with a shout. Let's say that today's game is so much more important for Sri Lanka more than for India.
Absolutely, and I think their sort of World Cup took a bad sort of turn when they lost to they did lose to, I guess, Afghanistan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that, and the only way I see them redeeming themselves would be another upset, which would be them defeating India this time. So it'll be the reverse upset, and that is somehow they could believe, right? All right. So before the two games, they would have felt, all right, we need to get 2 points out of these two games, and they would have gotten it through an unlikely source, but be it. So a very important game, as you've said, for Sri Lanka. I mean, it's the World Cup, so we see a game as a World Cup game, but it's not really like of utter importance for India. Like, of course, India would play very professionally. They'd like to maintain that streak, and winning is a habit. So let's continue with that and testing out avenues that yet still could be a bit undiscovered. Maybe the first time we batted, if we again get a chance to bat, maybe now putting up a big score. So things like these sort of last remaining check boxes for India
Mhm.
before gearing up for that semi-final. So yeah, that for India and for Sri Lanka, it's almost do or die avenue now. So they have to bring their A++ game, all of the youngsters and the mix of few experienced players that they have. Angelo Matthews was back, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was back. Yeah.
Yeah, so big boost for them. Hopefully he steps up to the plate. So I mean, yeah, let's see.
Absolutely. I've welcome Sai on the show as well. Sai, when we speak about India, right, one of the most impressive part about India in this World Cup has been their all-round performance, not just from the batters, from the bowlers' perspective as well. Now, after the confidence which India have received by defending 229 in a pitch like Lucknow, they wouldn't mind batting or even bowling first because they know right now we can score anything on the board and maybe give bowlers as much rest as possible. You saw what happened even last couple of games where bowlers are getting injured because it's that time of the tournament where you're taking a lot more workload. We're just couple of games away from semi-final. So you would want to make your bowlers ball in the best of conditions. So India wouldn't mind batting first today.
Yeah, absolutely. Because today it is the chance for our bowlers. They can defend again, right? Because today we can take that risk because we know that Sri Lanka is not that much capable to chase down against India, right? So I feel that's true. We can defend today. That depends on our first batting. So yeah, if the wicket is good, if fortunately if we won the toss, then for sure we can defend it.
Absolutely. Okay. Antariksh, I'll just get to you. At what point to say, just want to, should be a continuation question, is what I believe. At what point to say in the tournament would you consider Team India giving rest to some of their mainstays? I mean, we know we're very close to the semi final at this stage. And when we're very close to the semi final, one thing which we really want to do is making sure that all of our players stay fit. You know, at this point of stage, anybody getting injured would be detrimental for India, or it'll be just catastrophic as it could ever be. So for India, they'd have that behind their mind that okay, let's give rest to a Bumrah, a Siraj, and it's okay to play a Shardul Thakur and an Ashwin, and let's see how things go because you still are a good bowling attack. I know you don't want to lose, and you don't want to give up the winning momentum, but at the same time, you are looking now couple of steps ahead as to what other knockouts going to be. You're going to be playing in Mumbai or Kolkata, depending on who our opposition is going to be, and then you have a game on 19th, which is the biggest one if you qualify for that. So India will have that in their mind now onwards, isn't it?
Yeah, they would. They would. I'm sure, but I don't think we should be looking to rest anyone. I mean, it's just that the that we're in a position of luxury. Imagine if we were like some of the lingering teams below us, like we'd be fighting for our lives. then we wouldn't be thinking about any of the luxuries that we are, which is resting anyone or stuff. So I think the bunch of players arrive into this tournament with the mindset that they're going to play, like the core team is going to play what, 9 plus 2, 11 games in this tournament on in a short span of time. And the thing is that tournaments like these don't have a big turnover. So if you do lose that momentum, if you do lose that sort of flurry, because see, let's be honest, like till the time Hardik Pandya comes, already we're sort of playing with a team that we don't even know if is going to be, and it's a very tricky situation for India. It'll, you know what, I can already sense if anything, God forbid, goes wrong in the semi-final. The first question that's going to be, if Hardik Pandya comes in, was it necessary to bring in Hardik Pandya? Or if
Yeah,
it stays out, was it necessary to keep a player like Hardik Pandya on the bench? So we all know the media, it's not just the Pakistani media. They're a touch above others. Let's not get
mm,
it wrong. But it's that South Asian media that is very, very unforgiving when anything goes wrong. So it's
absolutely.
already a bit of kya kare kya na kare side. I'd just like to keep it the same as long as possible.
True. That's where I think we have to talk about some of the combinations with which we've gone in this tournament. With last game, Rohit Sharma played a spectacular knock. Let's be honest, that was knock of the highest order. He's just scored 87. I think 87 was worth 100 on that wicket. So if you just talk about Rohit Sharma this World Cup, he's been just exemplary with his flurry, isn't it? He's done a lot of things right. He's given you the right start. He's given you the right starts when you require it. He has kept you going in situations where you really thought, okay, things could be slightly tricky here. And Rohit Sharma has been, to be honest, the player of the tournament for India. If you look at just on the batting front, and Virat Kohli has been just very there. But Rohit Sharma starts really matters for India in these kind of situations. Let it be in a tough wicket, let it be us chasing a tricky total. And he's done that so consistently in this World Cup that we're not giving him the credit that he really deserves. And he's been among the runs as well. You reckon this once again playing in his home ground in Mumbai, he can come good really well today.
Yeah, absolutely. Because today, as you just mentioned right now about the player of the tournament, yeah, for sure, he's the one for India today. Because, as you can see on the screen, this is about the real boundary runs, which is our special metric which we have created to assess the top openers, which is the top quality openers so far in the World Cup, right? So, what does this mean? This means about the amount of runs they have scored via boundaries, which is greater than that of averagely the openers performing in the World Cup so far, right? And due to we all know Quinton is having the dream World Cup, right? So it's very difficult to beat him. And at the second rank, we do have Rohit Sharma, and this is something that we already wanted him to do, and he has did it for us, right? That means around 163 extra runs he has scored through boundaries as compared to the other openers, which is around 24 openers to be precise. So if you compare with all the 24 openers so far in the World Cup, he is at the second rank in terms of real boundary runs. So this shows about the attacking approach that he is trying to bring top of the order, right? And this is how he has been very aggressive in terms of very destructive. Why? Because of his boundary hitting abilities, right? Even though the pitch is not kind of offerable to such kind of batters, but still he manages it in a very effective manner. So on the screen you have the kind of the ultimate truth why he is the player of the tournament for India so far.
Absolutely, that's a good point. When it comes to his boundary percentages, him taking those high risk shots in this World Cup, it's been quite impressive. But on the other end of things, we've been reliant on a Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli as well more often than not in this tournament. I mean, we've had this discussion multiple times on these live streams before every India game, how a Shreyas Iyer, a Shubman Gill should come good. But Antariksha, very important question for you here. Is Shreyas Iyer's chances really running out at this point? Because, I mean, he's getting out to a very similar mode of dismissal time and time again, wasting in on opportunities. I mean, this is very criminal to do so. And you cannot be doing this in a World Cup like tournament, and you would be having expectation. We're just expecting him to come good even with these 3 games remaining. But if he doesn't come good over here, then you're going into that World Cup semi-final or knockouts rather with burden of baggage that you haven't performed in the group stage, and that kind of confidence in your batting order that it might crumble because your number 4 is more susceptible to getting out to a short ball and getting out in a pressure situation than anybody else. Yeah, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. As I was saying that I was pretty pissed as a fan, seeing his the mode of dismissal more than anything. I mean, I just thought that it was pretty reckless, pretty just a nothing shot that he keeps playing over and over again and falls for the same ball. And I almost told myself that he belongs in that England team. The cockiness that England team has got. I mean, I just remembered that Ben Stokes thing. It just infuriated me as a cricketing fan, as a fan of the sports. Like, how far have we come in this dilemma of either T20 or Test, that he just wasn't willing to survive as Ben Stokes.
Yeah,
I just draw parallels here, and it was almost like a very, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too emotional with it, but it almost felt a bit sinful to see, he just let his wicket go off, and that's what I should see Shreyas Iyer doing in the name of attacking. What we're doing is we're letting our instincts control ourselves. Like, one of the best batsmen in the sport,
yeah,
like any sports have been, who have known to when to control their instincts, when to even
yeah,
curb their natural game to suit the surroundings, to suit the match situation and stuff. And I just feel, that fearless cricket brand, it comes on with a price tag. It comes with a price tag that you're at least performing day in, day out. If you keep playing that fearless brand with an average of five, then it really gets us to nowhere. And I really think it's high time. We already lack a lot of left-handers. We've discussed this, and there is one certain guy who has performed under pressure a couple of times very recently, which is Ishan Kishan, when he knew that his position was under threat. And someone who was injured for the past 1.5 years just came in and took it. The other, at least Rahul, was scoring runs, so that was fair. And now there's again a big dilemma, that could Ishan Kishan be now the person who should be trusted? Because if we give another couple of chances to Shreyas Iyer, then it'll be very unfair on Ishan Kishan, expecting him to
yeah.
deliver in a semi-final altogether.
Exactly.
So it's a very tricky slope that India is in, because if they cut off Shreyas Iyer right now, it's probably for the rest of the tournament. If they
Yeah.
back him right now, it's probably for the rest of the tournament. It's going to be very
But yeah,
interesting
I
to see.
mean, that's a good point. I mean, you cannot take a decision at this juncture in this tournament, to be very fair. We have already played majority of our games, and we're just halfway down there to play the 11 game mark. If you're going to play the final, that's 11 games. So at this point, anybody you're bringing in, the confidence which you're entrusting on that player should be paramount. At the same time, the expectation should also be very minimal, as you mentioned. You can't expect Ishan Kishan to come and deliver you, to take you out of a gaping hole in a final.
Not
That's too much
everyone is
to ask.
Shami.
Yeah, I mean, talking about Shami, this is where I'm coming to my next point as well. Let's look at Shami in this World Cup. I mean, we've often spoken about how he goes under the radar. In the last World Cup as well, I thought India made a mistake of not playing him in the semi final and going ahead with the Bhuvaneshwar Kumar there. But yeah, this World Cup, he has really shown he is up there to be undroppable from this team. If you look at the best strike rate in World Cup history, he is number one, and this is no joke. He just balled 13 innings and 40 wickets every time. Every time his ball is coming to ball, he's picked up a wicket. Let it be first over, let it be second over. He's up there to be India's strike ballers. And Sai, you reckon if India will have to make a decision now to even drop a fast bowler, it will be Siraj, not Shami.
Yeah, absolutely. Because as you said just now about his figures, about his World Cup figures, so now it's very difficult to keep him out of the lineup, right? Because it's all about the bowling right now. Because nowadays, if you talk about our batting, we don't have any doubt in our top order. Uh, yes, we do have an issue with Iyer, but now it's not the stage to take a call on Iyer. We can think on it after the World Cup. We have time after that, right? But yeah, on Shami, so now he's trying to knock the door very hard, and now we have breaked it completely. So we don't have any reason or any kind of valid reason to uh, replace him in the lineup, right? So it's difficult to replace him right now, and he's doing the job for us, right? Even though it's the first innings or second innings, he's doing the job for us. So if the particular player is performing as per the given conditions, as per the given rules, so I don't feel that we should replace the player just to make a statement about the batting that our lower order should also bat. But if he is doing his job with such a great figures, then we don't need him to bat at that position.
Yeah, right. That's correct. I mean, if you look at last matches, India's lower order contribution, it was mighty impressive. I mean, Antariksh, we often spoke about tail falling off very fast, but Kuldeep Yadav, Jasprit Bumrah, they really showed grit, right? I mean, they were not facing some low quality bowling, right? They were facing like some Mark Wood, they were facing like some Chris Wokes and David Willey. I mean, they really show that they can hold the ground and give us that 15, 10, 20 runs. And you also saw yesterday, like what we spoke about before the live of the last game. We're talking about that extra 20 runs where you can defend extra 70 runs. That's exactly what happened. I mean, we were able to defend that extra 70 runs on the wicket with Mohammad Shami there, picking up four crucial wickets. And then that 20 runs did not really matter. We got those 20 runs from the likes of Bumrah, Kuldeep, and even Shami just contributed here and there alongside alongside Surya Kumar Yadav, who played a very vital knock of 49.
Absolutely. And one of the best things I really liked about it was they were practical. They were not comical in their approach. Ki, oh my God, we need to get the 300 mark, the 280 mark. No, they were practical. That now that we're in this situation, what's the best way forward from there? The best way forward was surviving the 50 overs. Because if you're there for the 50 overs, you're automatically going to get 20 runs extra. The best thing, when bowlers are charging in, they see a tail ender, they want to fear them, silly things happen. Edges fly away. You get boundaries. You get lucky. You get wides. You get a couple of runs. You get a couple of misfields. You just need to survive the 50 overs, and that is what we did. It was perfect. I just wish that Kuldeep Yadav could have faced two less balls, but it don't really matter. But yeah, I mean, I was very impressed, very happy with the fact that the way we were handling the situation there. So very happy, and yeah, I mean, with the tail, but like also forgetting about the tail, but Ravindra Jadeja yet again, he almost as you have said many a times, Abel, right? That he
Yeah,
almost succumbs to the role that he's given, and it was
yeah.
yet again like this time. Many people were saying that maybe it was Jadeja who should have come in front of Surya Kumar because you really would have wanted Surya Kumar in the last 10 overs. Although Surya Kumar did do well, but they were
Uh-huh.
saying when you and they as I was reading there in Crick Buzz, and they were mentioning the same thing as you did, that if you give him that space, if you give him that confidence that you are the anchor from over 30 to over 50,
Yeah.
he will play that anchor role. But once you treat him like a number 7, number 8, he almost succumbs to that all right, I am this now. So he almost plays a with his wings, right, like right around his body. So that's a bit of a worry as well, because again, with Hardik Pandya coming in or not, we really need the number 5, number 6, Iyer, as well as Jadeja, or whoever is going to play there. We really need them performing, because apart from the top three, then it's a very slim batting lineup.
Absolutely. I mean, that is one thing which India will have in their mind, considering that you almost had a collapse in the last game as well. It was Rohit Sharma and KL who steadied the ship once again and making sure that we don't really have a collapse. We averted a collapse last game because we were in with it. We lost three quick wickets in the power play and things weren't really going our way. But Sai, if you just have to talk about the collapses, there's another team who's had a lot of collapses at Sri Lanka. And if you look at the way in which they've collapsed in almost every game in this World Cup, it's seriously concerning for them. And now they are in against India, as we mentioned at the start of the live. They're still in with a glimmer of hope that they can qualify into the knockouts. They know that they'll have to really bat about their normal standards to really get past this Indian team, because there's an Indian team who's steamrolling oppositions at this point of time, and they know if they get over India, they can get over a New Zealand and even a Bangladesh quite comfortably.
Yeah, very true. Because to be honest, we all know that we were expecting Sri Lanka and Bangladesh to perform way better than Afghanistan and Netherlands. To be honest, right? Everyone knows that, but it went completely opposite. The We were expecting that Afghanistan or Netherlands will finish and they will fight for the bottom two positions, right? But
Yeah.
it's now with the Bangladesh, England, and Sri Lanka as well. So these are the two sides, to be honest, and to be precise, with Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is the side which we were expecting that after India, Sri Lanka should be the or Pakistan should be the team. After India, they should be from the Asian teams, right? But now their major issue was in terms of batting, to be honest, because even though they lost against Afghanistan, but still their bowling made couple of comebacks in terms of breakthroughs, right? But yeah, that was the brilliance of the staff management, and the planning and plotting about Afghanistan that they managed to chase it down. But yeah, in terms of their bowling, and today I am confident about their bowling. Even though they bowled today against India, they will perform well, right? But yeah, about the collapse, that is the main issue, and it's only because of the Mendes, which is the captain. Why? Because they are extremely dependent on Mendes, and to be honest,
Right.
in terms of Nisanka also, right? And in terms of they do have better players like we have Samar Vikrama, we have right. He, in terms of commentary, we have heard a lot of times that he do share the glimpse of Jayawardena, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, to be honest, it is that. But the only thing is about their dependence. They are hugely dependent on these three players: Mendes, Nisanka, and Sanadikram. They don't have the middle order. And to be honest, before the World Cup, I was expecting Sri Lanka to be at the finest Sri Lankan batter, to be honest, but don't know what is happening with him. Same issue that we have against Iyer, the same issue is happening with Sri Lanka also. So yeah, their batting has to step up because we know their bowling can defend the target. Their bowling can kind of their bowling can defend in the first innings, irrespective of the second innings also. But they have to step up with the batting in terms of the collapse. Even though they tried to build a couple of partnerships, that was the main thing that they are not able to build quick partnerships. And this is how the other teams like Netherlands or Afghanistan, they are improving in terms of partnerships. They are not kind of huge firepower in terms of the batting lineup, but they are focusing on the partnerships that I have seen so far. So today, they should focus on partnerships for Sri Lanka.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a good point as well. Now, Antariksh, if we talk about the points table at this point, I think we'll just look at the points table before we head any further into this stream, because it is the most interesting part of this World Cup right now. Looking at the points table and see who qualifies and what are the chances from here on. Just look at the points table here, right, Antariksh? The teams, India with 6 wins, 12 points. South Africa with 6 wins, 12 points. Australia and New Zealand. Now this is where it gets interesting, right? Especially New Zealand. You see those three reds back to back to back. And then there's Pakistan, who's right behind them. Afghanistan is right behind the neck. Sri Lanka with who can possibly end up on 10 points as well from here on. So there are, at this point, from number 8 to number 4 or number 3, they're close to 6 teams who can end up with 10 points and create an absolute traffic jam there. But the possibilities are Netherlands. Netherlands have the least possibility out of this because it's Netherlands, but you still don't write them off. Then there is an Afghanistan team who's had one game less, and if they continue to defeat Australia and South Africa and possibly Netherlands, they could be in with a qualification of 12 points. Now, as all of a sudden, we are looking at a different opening into this World Cup knockout, right? We've all expected New Zealand, Australia, India, South Africa to qualify. But with New Zealand losing back to back matches and also with their players getting injured, you're saying there's a small opening which puts a neck for Pakistan to breathe, Sri Lanka to breathe, and Afghanistan to breathe.
Yeah, and to top it all of this off, I was just reading the qualification scenario for England, how they could qualify from
Yeah,
here on. And so, they've got to win all of their matches with the biggest ever margins, and then they need to expect New Zealand and Australia to lose all of their remaining games, and then only one of Afghanistan and or Sri Lanka should be able to get to 10 points. So that's how
yeah,
England would be in our top four. So this is going to be a very intriguing last 2-3 rounds of games, and we're all here for it because no one wants the top four decided way before, and it was looking a bit pre-decided, but then Afghanistan caused the upset, Sri Lanka, Pakistan doing a Pakistan, New Zealand losing back to back to back, as you're saying. So very
yeah,
interesting. Now South Africa and India seem to be home and away,
yeah,
but the other two spots with potentially 4 or 5 of the contenders after
yeah,
that,
yeah.
very interesting. Very
You know what
interesting.
what I love of this World Cup is also that there's a
Yeah.
Champions Trophy qualification in the hook. Like you talk about the Premier League, the European qualification, and stuff like
No,
that.
I don't know. There's some confusion, Abel. I think it's in the
There's no
top.
confusion. So it's simple as that. So top seven, top eight, excluding Pakistan, which is top seven, qualifies into the Champions Trophy. So
No,
number
I
10
think
and number
it's according to the ICC rankings.
no. It
Not.
is of the World Cup. It is of
Are
the
you
World Cup.
sure?
Yeah, it is of the World Cup. It is of the World Cup 2023. The
Because
top
only yesterday I was reading this and they were saying that no, even if England finish 10th, they're gonna play the Champions
no
Trophy.
No, they can't. They can't. Unfortunately, they can't. And England were very unaware about it. Like as you just mentioned, England also mentioned that England also thought it was the ICC rankings which should be considered, but unfortunately for them, it is the rankings in the World Cup which will be considered, and that's what Matt, the coach of England, came out saying that we were unaware about it until an hour ago. So this is a very interesting finish to the World Cup because we have a Champions Trophy qualification. Just as you talk about in football, you have everything to play for.
So does this mean that West Indies has already disqualified itself of the Champions
Yeah,
Trophy?
they have disqualified themselves.
Wow. Wow, they would also be sort of unknown about it.
Absolutely. So that's a good part. I absolutely love this. Sai, what do you think about this format of top eight qualifying and others don't? By the way, India are batting first. Just an update. India are batting first. Sri Lanka won the toss, and Sri Lanka put India to bat.
All right,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
nice.
yeah, that's true. So yeah, that's the format that we have. The top eight, according to the points table, they will qualify for the Champions Trophy. And now you can see we have Netherlands and Afghanistan playing Champions Trophy instead
Yeah,
of Bangladesh and England. Right. So this is going to be a really huge opportunity for these two teams because if you look carefully, after the World Cup, Netherlands don't have a single game. They hardly play in terms of bilateral series, right? But now they will prepare hard to come up for the upcoming Champions Trophy, right? So now we will be seeing multiple kind of improvement in the Netherlands kind of domestic circuit and the other stuff also in terms of their nation cricket for the national cricket because I hope you all know that they have their other works to do, right? They have come up to play the World Cup uh, with their leaves. They have taken some leaves from their companies, right? So after the World Cup, now they have something to look forward in terms of Champions Trophy in the 2025. So
absolutely. That's a good point. Antariksh, once again, just pointing at the points table and the qualification scenario. For India now, batting first. Sri Lanka won the toss. They put India to bat first. How do you see this? How do you see this from that perspective?
I would like to see us putting up a big score now. I would like to see us. I don't know how to frame this. I don't want Rohit Sharma to not score or Kohli to not score, but whatever the situation is, I want. Is this Shreyas Iyer playing?
Yeah, Shreyas is playing. It's the same team.
Okay, so yeah, I want Shreyas Iyer to score. I want Jadeja to take responsibility. I want Rahul to open up his arms fully now, and I want Shubman Gill to, now give us a good start and stuff. So that doesn't mean I don't want the other two to massively overplay, but I just want this. I want all those minute check boxes to go now because we're nearing the end of the group stage, and we'd just like to be as perfect as possible.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. But what do you think is the ideal score in Wankhede? I mean, to be very fair,
Oof.
there's always this thing of dew coming in later on in the game, and that really puts pressure on you to score or outbat the other team. You reckon that's going to be slightly concerning for India because even Kushal Mendes did mention in the toss, dew is one of the reasons why they're going to choose to ball first.
Yeah, I mean, anything below 315, 320 is not going to be, at least par. I'm pretty confident that we'd still be able to defend even a score of 280, 290. But in terms of what you're talking about being a par score and with the due factor coming in, I think 315, 320 has to be the base, at least what we're seeing, the antics that South Africa and stuff are doing. And we need to
Yeah.
take a take a page out of their books because many a times we've seen like this sort of World Cup that they've almost edged towards 500 when they're playing, in
Yeah.
the 35th over. They don't finish off that well because we've seen a trend of teams not capitalizing on the starts that they make. Like we saw Australia, we saw New
Yeah.
Zealand, we've seen South Africa. But the lesson to take from there is that their start is so unhinged that they believe in the core values of ODI cricket, which is keeping wickets in hand and maintaining that healthy strike rate. They don't
Yeah.
point the ball away every 2 overs. They just keep rotating the strike and keep hitting the odd boundary at least till 30 overs. That's when they start to accelerate. So we need to take a page from that book, and hopefully we do keep wickets in hand, and 315, 320 is the target.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a good point. I mean, they're playing old school cricket at this point, isn't it? South Africa,
Exactly.
do bat at a strike rate of 5 to 6 in the first 40 overs and go at a strike rate of close to, not strike rate, run rate of close to,
Yeah.
you know, to put 14, 13 in the last 10. And it's really paying dividends. It's to keep the wickets and go berserk. And that's really doing them world of good. I mean, that's about it from us for today. I mean, thank you all for joining in, and thank you for all the thank you for every person who's joined in. If you are new here, do not forget to check out our channel and also check out our courses with Mad About Sports. Remember, over here you can get daily sports content. So subscribe to our channel. Also share this video with as many people as possible. So that really helps us with the algorithms and also as a channel to grow and to bring you really good, exciting content. And check out our Instagram page that is Mad About Sports for latest content, latest stats, and developments across sporting world. And if you are an aspiring analyst who want to set a footing into the world of analytics, into the world of numbers, and you want to take shots and call shots in a dressing room, or you want to work with your favorite IPL team, this is your opportunity to check out our course with Mad About Sports and cricket analytics. And also, if you're a football fan, check out the football analytics as well. Thank you, Antrix, and then Sai also was here. Thanks to him as well for joining, and see you all very soon. Bye bye.